Shift left in security. Shift left in security is a very, very important principle that if you're not adapting and if it is not part of your strategy when it's come to security, I think you're missing out. It's not a new principle or anything. It's quite familiar. A lot of people are familiar with it right now. It's being adopted in different areas as well, like privacy, also testing, QA. But we're going to focus today about it from security point of view. Shift left is briefly about moving your involvement and the security integration when it comes to the software development lifecycle on the shift side as much as you can. Typically, a lot of companies, what they do is they don't care about security at all. They don't take it into consideration. They work on the product development. They release the changes, and maybe once a year, they do testing. So if we look at the process, now they are coming from the very, very right. What we're trying to do is to push it to the very, very left. And I have a demonstration here to show you. This is a process. Everything starts with an idea. And then once this idea is crystal clear in your mind, you start to put it in a requirement form. This could be a document written by the product manager, or it could be maybe a Jira ticket, but something to describe what the development team need to do. And then development team, usually if it's a sizable change, probably they will sit together, think of the design of it. Then once they finalize this, they will come to the implementation. They start the development, they start the coding. And then of course they do the testing before the release, hopefully. And then once everything is done, they go live for the release. When I was referring to the pen test exercise, which most of the companies do here, they try to do it over here. Pen test. The problem here is, first of all, it's too late in the process. As you probably can imagine, the more you go further in this process from this direction to this direction, the more costly the change becomes. If you imagine this scenario, right now you are a team of construction engineer and you're going to build a bridge, right? If you go and build the bridge for the cars, and then I leave you to finish all the bridge, and once you finish, I come to you and say, you know what, this bridge is not safe. You probably need to shift it a little bit or extend it a little bit, or maybe change the curvature degree or anything. How costly this can be. It's extremely costly, right? But imagine if I told you this from the very beginning when you're still thinking about it. Hey, I'm still thinking about building a bridge. I'll come to you, okay, here you go. You want the angle to be this way. You want to make sure the visibility is this way. You want to make sure it's 4 lanes. You want to make sure I give you all the requirements from the beginning. You will be very pleased to know this before, instead of just waiting for you to finish when it's too late and tell you all of this. So this is exactly the difference between coming to you after you finish everything and try to find this to integrate security at this stage versus over here. So how do we do that from security point of view? First, and the most important thing, in my opinion, because it's the cheapest and the most effective, is security training or awareness. You put it over here. This is basically about giving specific custom training to your software developers, your engineers, when they come to teach them that security exists, when they come to educate them that they can come to you at any point and ask for assistance or guidance or anything. A lot of people don't take this into consideration, and then usually there is a bit of disconnect between the development team and the security team. And if the security team is not really forming the right relationship and having the right awareness in the organization, it's just gonna end up as if you don't have a security team in place at all when it's come to the involvement, because you will always come late. You will always come when the product team announce it and you get to know maybe from the roadmap announcement or maybe the company show and tell or any demos that the team is doing. So go at the very early stage, integrate in this process and try to build a custom training for your developers to make sure you teach them on OWASP 10, secure checks, secure by default, when to come to you, how to reach out to you, and all this form of stuff. That can save you tons of money and also frustration from development team. When it's come to the second stage here, the requirement, this is here usually gonna be done by partnering with the PMs and maybe staff engineers if you have any. And it's about security requirement. It's as part of non-functional requirement. Non-functional requirement here is sometimes a product team come and say, hey, I want to build a product. This product can accommodate users to come and register and to maybe post a blog. The non-functional part here is how many users do I need to accommodate? What is the uptime that I'm expecting to sustain? This is the non-functional requirement, things that are happening in the background. Security also should be non-functional requirement and should be considered at the requirement stage. Try to integrate yourself, try to find where exactly every new change from the product point of view, from the technical point of view, get introduced, discussed, be there, try maybe to make sure that you review the changes at the early stage and make sure you integrate your security requirement over here. For example, let's say if I have a blog and it serves content to people, I will come here and say, you know what, I want to rate limit the content serving to maybe only serve 200 requests per IP. So I make sure that I'm protecting my service from any DOS or DDoS attack. So that's an example of being integrated in the requirement stage. Moving on to the third stage here is the design. This is when the technical team get together and start to put together the architecture, how things will look like, how the two services gonna communicate. Are we going to put them in a VPC, or are we going to expose any of these points to the public, or are we going to put API, like all these basically system design details. This is where you wanna involve yourself here by introducing a process called basically system design review or secure architecture or security design review. Ideally, what you want to be here, you want to be in the room when things are being discussed as well, because that's almost a version of coming in the ideation, because the developers will be brainstorming, how about this, how about this? You want to be with them as well, putting your input. If not, at least review the final diagrams, see the data flow, and then start to conduct your threat modeling to catch potential threats from the very early stage, add your security recommendations, and identify any issues before it gets to implementation. And then moving on to the fourth one, that's the implementation phase. Implementation here is, I'm talking about coding. The developer is sitting down on his IDE and writing his code. That's here you want to integrate yourself also, ideally, as much as you can, as early as you can, maybe with security linters, which linters usually is an extension or add-on you can run on the IDE to basically give quick feedback to the developer as they develop their code. If not, then you can also add static analysis, SAST. These are all also ways basically to scan your code, but usually after the commit, not as the developer is writing it. Once the code is being committed maybe to GitHub or GitLab or whatever system you use, it runs on it, it scans it for first-party vulnerabilities, for maybe does tint analysis and try to find vulnerabilities developers introduced. And then you have also another version is SCA, security composition analysis, or also another, people refer to it in insecure dependency check. And I'm sure everybody knows that maybe 50 sometimes % of your code can be, the compiled code is actually libraries that you integrate. So this is a way for you to check if these libraries have known vulnerabilities or not, because this is usually a very common attack vector that people can get into your system from. And then moving on to the next part here, when it's come to the testing, when the product is being tested, ideally if you have in-house team to try to test these by conducting pen test on this change only while in the test environment. If not, you can also introduce DAST, which is dynamic analysis. And it's basically a way of fuzzing your application, trying to challenge it with different versions of input to try to break it, to take it down, to see if I can bypass your input validation checks, if I can take your system down, if I can exploit maybe regular expression that consume a lot of time. So all of these kind of stuff, you can add them over here. And then the release, of course, when things are live. This is usually when you start to do maybe your black box testing, black box pen test. Maybe you can do it once or twice a year based on the frequency of the changes that you introduce. Why black box? Black box because ideally here you get a group of people who have no idea what are you building internally. They look at it as a real attacker, and then from there they start to test it and find vulnerabilities. So as you can see here, We are in every single stage. Some people might come and say, oh, that's too much. This is the most objection that I hear. It's too much, too expensive. Why we need all of this? I think you probably hear moving from shift left principle, you need to educate them on the concept of defense in depth. And the concept of no matter all these layers that we're trying to put to protect our system or to detect the vulnerabilities or to prevent them even from going live, we're still gonna miss something. You will never get it right perfect 100%. But what you're trying to do here is to catch as many of them as much as you can in an early stage before they go live, and account for the chance that you still, even after you did all of these, you still have missed something either in the new changes, or maybe it has been there in the legacy version of the product, or maybe a new change broke something and opened the loophole in your system. Introducing yourself in all these phases, this is what we call shift left. And the shift left part here is, you can look at it as in, I'm trying to catch the vulnerability instead of detecting them. Detection, I want to do prevention. Instead of waiting and finding it when it's live, no, I want to prevent it before it goes live. That's the idea. So catching the vulnerability here is definitely better than here. Catching the vulnerability here is better than here, is better than here, is better than here, and so on and so forth. And keep in mind also, cost-wise, it makes big difference, because if I catch something here during the pen test, that means I need to go back to the idea, discuss it again, come up with new requirement of how to fix it. In some cases, I might need to change the design if vulnerability is critical in terms of it touched the infrastructure or how system was designed. And then you're going to implement again, you run your test again, and then you might break something again, and so on. So look at the cost. It increases massively. So here, it's very little. But here, you're talking about massive cost. And I'm here accounting for the case when you are lucky enough to catch it yourself. Not talking about the case that you are not lucky and somebody else managed to find it and exploit it, and then boom, you made it to the news because your system got breached. That's one. The other factor that is beautiful, and I love to talk about it, is the frustration and the happiness of the developer. When you speak to the developer and teach them and educate them, they are so happy over here in the ideation phase. They like you, they partner with you. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for making me aware before I go build my bridge. But when it's come to the requirement here, they happy, but maybe not as happy. Let's make it smile, but in the design, they still here smiling, but not big smile. When it started from the implementation, this is when you start to lose the happiness side. So here, they are a little bit annoyed because they push the code, they wrote the code, and then you come back and say, hey, change this one. The testing is even worse here when you start to be a bit upset because I finished and I integrated and I passed everything. And then now, after all of this, you coming back to me and telling me, no, you need to change it because it breaks with the fuzzing. In the release, they will be so mad at you that I don't know how to represent it here. And maybe that's because they will eat you alive. Why? Because this is the moment here you're coming to them basically when they thought they finished the implementation and they probably out as a team trying to have some drinks, celebrate the new features, and then you come to them and say, oh, look what we found. To summarize, what you want to do here is you really want to fully understand the concept of shift left, understand your SDLC, your software development lifecycle, assess where your company is when it's come to integrating security in each and every of these stages, and then come up with a plan to try to integrate security into every single stage. You start from the very left if you can. Usually, if you can find the right security awareness training based on the programming languages, the technologies that the team use, introduce it. It will help a lot. Then try to partner with the staff engineers, the product managers, to make sure every new change, it has security requirement if needed. And then introduce the process of system design, secure design. You need people for this. Teach people, maybe if you're trying to scale, how to conduct threat modeling themselves. And then start to explore different static analysis and dynamic analysis tool to integrate them in the implementation and the testing phase. And then, of course, from time to time, you probably want to consider something like bug bounty. So you have continuous external testing. If not, at least you can get external pen test provider to conduct this testing for you annually or biannually. That's it. And remember that the more you shift left, the happier the developers will be, the less and lower the cost will be on you to fix these vulnerabilities. Thank you so much. I hope that was useful and helpful for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and see you in the next video. Thank you.